Yes, so we came to know about the Roland Act. So I was just giving you a brief explanation about it. So I'll read it what's there in the book and we'll keep it till here today because we don't have much time so that I can. The Jallianwala Bagh is going to take a bit more time. The Roland Act was passed in 1919, as I said. It gave the British the power to send anyone to jail without a trial in court. Very strict measures were taken if anyone protested against the various acts of the government. This is what it's all about in the this thing. Okay, I'll start with Jallianwala Bagh also. I'll tell you something about Jallianwala Bagh. It's not bad. So now, what is the story of the Jallianwala Bagh? Actually, what happened? The situation in Punjab was so alarming as there were riots and protests against the Roland Act. The Punjabis started reacting very badly. There were riots, they didn't listen to it, they killed many British people also. Actually, what happened during the British time, our Indians, lot of Indians were supporting the British and working under them. The Indians were also working in the police as with the British. The army of Indians were also working with the British as under them because people needed food, needed jobs. The rulers, the last Mughal rulers, had also given up to that sent they given manpower to the British people. Understood my point? So Indians were also behaving bad with the Indians. They thought, oh, the British is here, we are with the British. We are with the Saabs, Gore people. You are Kale people. Punjab was put under martial law, which meant that it became unlawful for more than 4 people to assemble at a place. As we can call it basically a curfew. A curfew is now it's come to 3 people, but at that time it was assemble at a place, you cannot stand together. 4 people cannot stand together at the place or talk together, even at a shop, pawn shop or a tea shop, you will be arrested. To control the situation, the Lieutenant Governor of Punjab at that time was Michael O'Dwyer. Lord Chelmsford was India's Viceroy, and the top boss was Queen Victoria. The Viceroy was under the Queen, and under the Viceroy was this Governor, Lieutenant Governor of Punjab was Michael Dyer. On the day of the festival of Baisakhi, 13th April 1999, in Jallianwala Bagh, a public garden in Amritsar, a crowd of non-violent protesters gathered. Now, also among those crowd were pilgrims who had come to celebrate Baisakhi. Baisakhi is also in Bengal, it's called Boishakhi. It's a new year. Baisakhi for Punjabis are also Baisakhi is during that harvest time and it's that new year time. At a year of harvest finishes, agriculture, farming. South India it's called Pongal. That also happens. So Baisakhi is a very big affair in Punjab. And Jallianwala Bagh was a very big public garden, where a lot of people can accumulate. And non-violent people were there. No one had come to fight, they had come to celebrate. Also pilgrims, many people from far away had come to celebrate Baisakhi in Punjab. General Dyer came there with his troops and blocked the only narrow entrance to the garden. He blocked the place, closed all the doors, entry. Now then, without warning anybody, he ordered his team to fire at the unarmed people. They didn't have guns also. They were non-violent. They had come to celebrate Baisakhi, including children as well. Huge firing went on for about 10 minutes. 1,650 rounds of ammunition were exhausted. Can you imagine? 1,650 rounds. Each round must be having 10 bullets or 15 bullets, or some must be having 6 bullets. 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, 1,650 rounds of ammunition were exhausted. This resulted in the deaths of at least 1,000 people and injured more than 1,500 people. That means 1,000 people dead and 1,500 injured. That's 2,500 people already there. There must have been much more, but no one could run away because all the gates were closed. This tragedy came as a rude shock to Indians and totally destroyed their faith in the British system and justice. The national leaders of the Congress, they did not sit quiet. They said this is a very heinous act which you have done in this government and to the Governor Dyer. However, Dyer was appreciated by many in Britain and the British in India, although some people in the British government were quick to criticize it. Those who criticized his actions included Winston Churchill and former Prime Minister H.H. Asquith of India. The British people. Winston Churchill they didn't like it, killing people, normal people. They didn't had come to fight, they had come to celebrate their, the festival. The government set up the Hunter Commission to inquire into the massacre. The commission is also the British Commission. The government is also the British government, but they had to survive in India with the Indian people. They set up a commission, they started finding what happened, what did Dyer do, they did not like it. They said it's a very bad thing which he has done, but it did not impose any disciplinary action against him. No action was taken against him. He was British. But he was suspended from his duties in the army in 1920. In protest against the massacre of the killings, the British failure to give due justice to the victims. They did not give any justice. So many people died, no justice was there. Rabindranath Tagore, the great poet, gave up his knighthood, the prestige which he had got from the British government, he gave it up. And Gandhiji relinquished his title, Kaiser-e-Hind, bestowed on him by the British for his services during the Boer War in South Africa. He had worked for the British also during some time for his law. He was practicing his law in South Africa, so he had been for them. So they had given him a title called the Kaiser-e-Hind. He did not like that. He also gave it up. Michael Dyer, and then Lieutenant Governor of Punjab, who had approved the action of Brigadier General Dyer, was assassinated by Udham Singh in London in 1940 as a revenge against the massacre. Udham Singh was a child when he had witnessed so many people being caught. He was there in that. He went in 1940 to England and he shot him, assassinated him in London. So there were so many tough people. Can you imagine how they fought? And today we get one little bit hurt, we fall on the ground while doing taekwondo, we start whinging, we start crying. Our auto is a little bit late, we start whinging. We have problems, we have excuses. At those time people didn't have excuses. They fought. They were daring, but they were truthful. Whatever they have done for us, are we following it? No, we don't follow it. We don't keep our city clean. I am not talking about the state, any state, but I am talking about whole of India. We don't keep ourselves clean. We spit on the road. We open a packet of chewing gum, we throw the paper on the road. You must have seen me in school. When I eat something, I don't know, you are class 5, this first time you are interacting with me. I chew a toffee, even if I get a chewing gum, the wrapper I put it in my shoes. Or I just tuck it in my socks, so that when I come to my room or the place where I stay, I have a dustbin. When opening my shoes and socks, I take out those papers and put it in the dustbin. we have to do it from ourselves. If we don't start doing it, who's going? We have to teach people. That is the main issue. Okay, so take care. The massacre we have done of the Jallianwala Bagh. Next will be the Simon Commission and the civil disobedience and the movement. And see you then. Till then, take care and be good and have fun. Do some physical exercises. Stop using mobile too much. Do some physical exercise. Practice your taekwondo and all that. Do your push-ups and do your sit-ups and do some punching and do some kicking. Oh, hard! Shout on the terrace. Take your parents also. Play with them. Respect them and love them as much as you can. And do whatever you want after you do your studies. Bye bye.